Welcome to a new video where I am gonna break down the Finnish Craft and Design Fair. We are gonna talk about inventory, sales, expenses, and of course lessons learned during this weekend. So grab yourself a cup of tea or coffee, or in this case molded wine, and let's get started. The Finnish Craft and Design Fair is an annual fair hosted in Tampere. This year there were 700 vendors and 42,000 people visiting the craft and design fair. I was one of 3 business owners that got the opportunity to participate through the Taito Business Lab, aka Taito Yrityslaboratorio. Taito Business Lab is a collaboration between Taito and Tampereen Messut. It is an opportunity for new business owners to try out the fair for the first time. This is a great opportunity to try out new products and get live feedback from customers. Okay, let's jump into the first thing, inventory. So how much stuff did I ended up bringing to the market? My initial goal was to bring an inventory worth of 10,000 euros, but this is actually what I ended up bringing to the market. 95 Finnish 2024 calendars, 26 English 2024 calendars, 27 2023 calendars, 50 yarn kits, 90 skeins of Karma cotton, 128 skeins of Alba cotton, these I already had in stock, 8 skeins of dandelion hand-dyed yarn, I also had these already in stock, 13 pins, 46 pins that was shaped like a crochet hook, 7 keychains. I didn't end up making these during the market, so I didn't sell any of these either. 11 memory hook sets, 2 different cards. I didn't end up putting these on display during the market, so of course I didn't sell any either. 37 new project bags with the space design, and 18 older project bags with an older design. I also brought 84 pacifier clips that I also already had in stock. The total sum of the inventory ended up being 7,262 euros. So this means if we would have ended up selling everything, this is what we would have gotten in revenue before taxes. I spent 1,668 euros on inventory. Most of this covered the costs for printing the calendars and the yarns for the yarn kits. Everything else was taken from stock that I already had. It is impossible to know how much stock and inventory you should bring to a market you have never participated before. This was something that I struggled with a lot, and I had just no idea. I knew a couple of people who have sold on this market before, and I asked a little bit from them what their selling experience was, but you can never know before you are actually participating, because they are not selling the exact same items as you're selling. So I'm really happy at the end that I didn't push my inventory further and purchased even more yarn. My initial idea was to have 100 yarn kits. I'm very, very grateful that I didn't end up with 100 yarn kits and only 50. With the knowledge I have now today after the market, I would have focused on less different kind of products and leaned into more of what customers were asking for, but I couldn't know at that point what people would be asking for. But now that I have that knowledge, I would focus more on those kinds of products for future markets. We are here. How much did we sell? We ended up selling 8 Finnish 2024 calendars, 2 English 2024 calendars, 7 2023 calendars, 8 yarn kits, 49 skeins of Karma cotton, 29 skeins of Alba cotton, 3 skeins of dandelion yarns, 1 round pin, 5 crochet hook pins, 6 memory hook sets, 5 space themed project bags, 6 other themed project bags that I already had in stock, 24 pacifier clips. On Friday we sold for 472.99 euros with card and 28.70 cash. This is a total of 501.69 euros on Friday. On Saturday we sold 256.70 euros with card, 54.70 with cash, which equals to 311.40 cents in total on Saturday. On Sunday we sold for 348 euros and 70 cents with card, 11 euros and 20 cents with cash, and 359.90 in total on Sunday. We sold in total during this whole fair, 3-day fair, 1,172 euros and 99 cents. My goal was to sell out of the calendars as well as the yarn kits. Well, this didn't happen, and I remember feeling so frustrated during the craft fair that we didn't sell as much as I had expected to. Looking back at these numbers though, I'm really happy how much we ended up selling and that we didn't go with a loss. Do I have a bunch of inventory left? Yes. Do I have a plan for it? Also yes. Most of the yarns will be used in future yarn kits, and all the other products will be sold over on my web shop. So even though we got to participate in this fair for free through the Taito Business Lab, it still wasn't free. There is always other expenses around a fair than the particular booth fee that you are paying. So here is a list of what our expenses was during this 3-day craft and design fair. I spent on hotel 177.14 cents. This was for 3 nights, breakfast included. I paid 33 euros for parking at the hotel during the entire weekend. Paid about 20 euros in cloakroom fees during the fair because we needed to put some of our jackets somewhere because it's in the middle of winter, so we had a lot of clothes and there wasn't really space for them inside of the booth anywhere. I spent about 100 euros in food during this weekend. I don't really know if this should be counted as an expense because I would have eaten anyways, but I wanted to put it here just to see, because I think I had budgeted for like 300 and we didn't, or I didn't end up eating for as much as I thought, which might not be a good thing because you should eat during a fair, but in like the 2 first days it was really hard to remember to eat because you were just busy with selling and talking to people during those days. So the last day we learned that breaks is good and we need to eat. I spent 204 euros and 19 cents on the booth. This includes small baskets for some of the products, as well as the big shelves that I've been building and materials for that as well as the fabric that was hanging like behind and the sign. I spent 120 euros on clothing for me and my sisters and Lucas to have some branding clothes during the market. And other fees, this includes the card reader that I had to buy because my iSettle just died the first night before the market. So that was 35.86. In total, expenses went to 690.19 euros. I had budgeted for more, but at the end I'm happy that the expenses wasn't higher than this because of the sales, because then we would have went with a bigger loss than we did. That means that we made 482.80 euros in profit before taxes during this market. There is expenses that I haven't calculated for. For example, I didn't pay for the gas, for example, back and forth to the market because we used my sister's cars. If my business would be bigger, I would love to be able to pay for this. I would also love to have been able to pay for their hotel stays and their food during this weekend. But because my business is so small still and I can barely afford to pay myself, this is what my business ended up paying for. But if we would have been charged for the booth as well, which would have been around 900 euro for that specific booth that we had during this fair, we would have made a significant loss instead of a profit. Some of these expenses are stuff that I could reuse for future markets, like the booth shelves, for example, and the baskets and the signs, etc. But will I? At this point, I don't know. Some final thoughts and lessons learned. I'm super grateful that I got this opportunity to participate for free through the Type of Business Lab, because honestly, I don't really know if I could afford to participate in this size of a market without that financial support. And even though we didn't sell for as much as I had expected during the weekend, I learned so much. For example, be prepared for everything. I wasn't prepared that my card reader wouldn't work. Check everything before the market so that you're prepared, and try even out fake selling something to a fake customer just to see that the system works. Setup will take way longer than you think it will. If you have the possibility to set up your booth at home, for example, I didn't because our apartment is so small, but if you have the possibility to do so, do it, take pictures, and it will fast track your setup process. Bring a toolbox with glue, scissors, tape, and markers, everything that you possibly can think of. You never know what will happen during the fair and if you need to fix something or write a new sign, so be prepared, take it with you. It's better to have too much tools with you than too few, and you can always lend a hand to a fellow booth neighbors if they also is in trouble and need something to fix. You can never bring too much snacks. There might be very little time for you to actually eat something, so to have snacks that is just quick and easy to pop in your mouth to get some energy and boost your fuel, that's great. Take more than you think you will need, because you will need it. Never do a market all by yourself. I saw a couple of vendors who were participating in the Finnish Craft and Design Fair all by themselves. They said they hadn't eaten during these 3 days and didn't dare to drink anything because they hadn't got anybody to take over when they needed to go to the bathroom, for example. So I would never have done this all by myself. I'm so grateful that my sisters wanted to come with me during this They gave me so much energy and we had a lot of fun together. So if you just have someone, anybody, a friend, a sibling, a parent, bring them with you. It will be worth it. Don't spend a fortune on inventory on a market you're participating in for the first time. It is always better to sell out of some products than go home with a bunch of inventory. Write up everything your customers asks for, as well as ideas you get during this craft fair, because I am really sure that you will get new inspiration for new products during your market. So for example, I had customers asking for safety eyes. I didn't have safety eyes. They asked, do you have crochet hooks inside of for the yarn kits? I didn't have that. They also asked for really beginner-friendly yarn kits for someone that have never crocheted before, and that is something that I also didn't have. But these are now 3 products that I would love to include in my web shop and maybe take with me on future markets. Bring way more business cards that you think you will need, especially if your business card includes a freebie. So I had a business card with a QR code for a free owl pattern, and these were very popular. I ended up giving out 300 cards during this market, but I would probably could have brought with me at least 500 business cards. I didn't buy these, I printed out them myself, so that it wasn't really a big economical expense for me and totally worth it. My email list ended up growing with 100 people, so I'm really happy with that. That like 30% of the people I gave a card to actually used the code and grabbed the pattern. And a last lesson learned. The first market you are participating in is a test. You will never know how it will go. You will never know how much you will sell. So take it as a test and use what you have learned and tweak it for the next market. And the next market will go even better than your first one. I had so much fun with my sisters during this weekend, and I learned so much, and I got such a confidence boost in myself as a crochet designer as well as a business owner. I got a lot of inspiration and ideas for new products that I am so excited to try out, and I mean, this kind of knowledge is priceless. I hope I will be able to join this fair sometime again in the future, but until then I'm gonna work on my web shop, and you will find all the products from the fair there, as well as a big library of pedagogical amigurumi patterns. If you enjoyed this video but missed the prep vlogs for the market as well as the market vlog, I highly recommend to check those out. Next, you will find them here in the corner. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!